Title: The Psychology of Insults. Why Silence Wins. Hey warriors, welcome back. When someone tries to humiliate you, don't rush to explain or defend yourself. Don't react. The moment you react, you've already lost. You've shown them what controls you, and that's exactly what they wanted. Machiavelli understood something most people still don't. The world doesn't respect emotions, it studies them. Every time you argue, get angry, or try to prove your worth, you're teaching others how to control you. People don't insult you because they hate you. They insult you to test you, to see if they can shake your peace. They want to find out if your self-image is fragile. That's why the strongest people in history didn't waste time arguing. They mastered silence. They let others expose their weakness by talking too much. Here's the dark truth. The one who reacts reveals. The one who stays calm controls. An insult is not just an attack, it's a question from the world. Do you know who you are, or do you need me to tell you? And when you respond emotionally, you hand them your power. But the one who stays still, who lets chaos move around him without losing balance, becomes untouchable. Not because he's aggressive, but because he's unreadable. Nothing exposes people faster than their reaction to your silence. So the next time someone insults you, don't give them your energy. Let them talk. Let their own insecurity echo back at them. Only unstable people need to prove they're strong. The truly strong stay calm. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My silence is my power. The psychology behind insult. Every insult hides a motive. It's never just about words, it's about control. People use insults like tests to see how easily they can disturb your mind. When someone mocks you or criticizes your choices, they're not communicating. They're experimenting. They want to see what triggers you. Every time you react, you give them data, emotional information they can use against you later. That's why Machiavelli warned leaders to remain unreadable. Predictable people are easy to control. When someone insults you, they are not attacking you, they are studying you. They want to know what hurts, what truth you fear, and what makes you break. The more you respond, the more you reveal. What starts as a small insult can turn into a pattern of emotional control. But wise people reverse the game. Instead of reacting, they observe. They stay silent and watch others expose their own instability. The power of silence. When you don't react to insults, you confuse your enemy. Their experiment fails. Your silence burns them more than any comeback ever could. They start to wonder, what kind of mind doesn't react to humiliation? That's when power shifts quietly. Machiavelli said, men are simple and driven by circumstance. Deceivers will always find someone ready to be deceived. He meant that emotions make people predictable, and predictability makes them weak. If you can't control your anger or pride, others will use it against you. But if you pause before reacting, if you study intention instead of words, you become impossible to manipulate. So the next time someone throws verbal poison at you, don't absorb it. Analyze it. Don't react, record. Because every insult reveals more about the speaker than the target, their insecurity, their envy, their weakness. Remember this. Your silence is not weakness, it's psychological dominance. Control the frame. The power of silence. Remember this. Insults are psychological mirrors. They reflect the insecurity of the person throwing them. Once you understand that, no word can truly hurt you. You stop hearing insults emotionally and start decoding them logically. And when you can decode people, you control the interaction. That is real emotional intelligence, not softness, but awareness. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I see through the noise. The Machiavellian principle. Control the frame. Power is not always about dominance. It's about control over the frame, the invisible space where meaning is created. Most people lose power not because they are weak, but because they accept someone else's frame of reality. When someone insults you, they are inviting you into their frame, one built on anger, emotion, and chaos. The moment you react, you step into their world and start playing by their rules. But Machiavelli understood. The one who defines the frame defines the outcome. He wrote that perception is stronger than truth, because people live by appearances, not facts. The wise don't fight inside someone else's story, they reshape it from the outside. When you stay calm after an insult, you shift the frame instantly. The aggressor begins to look desperate while you appear powerful. The focus moves from their words to the contrast between your calmness and their instability. Suddenly, they are the one being judged, not you. That's why emotional control is not just maturity, it's pure strategy. Every time you refuse to join an ego battle, you change the hierarchy. You move from participant to observer. And the observer always holds power. The person who reacts loses status. The one who stays centered gains gravity. It's like chess. A skilled player doesn't panic when attacked. He pauses, observes, and waits for the other to overextend. Machiavelli once said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." He meant that reacting emotionally makes you predictable, while controlling the frame makes you untouchable. When you remain calm, others begin to question themselves. They doubt their own emotions. Your stillness becomes a mirror reflecting their lack of discipline. They may raise their voice, but your silence raises the tension. They may try to provoke, but your calm exposes their insecurity. Slowly, their confidence breaks. And that's how the frame collapses. The true Machiavellian never seeks validation. He doesn't chase dominance, he becomes the environment others must adjust to. When you master this, you no longer react to people, they react to you. That's the invisible realm of influence, where power is quiet and effortless. You start controlling perception not with words, but with presence. Remember, control of the frame means control of meaning, and control of meaning is control of minds. Every time you stay calm in a storm, you silently rewrite the power dynamic. Composure isn't weakness, it's authority in disguise. Drop this affirmation in the comments, I control the frame. The silent authority. Power beyond words. Silence isn't weakness, it's the highest form of power. The one who can stay quiet while others fight for attention holds true authority. When someone insults you, the strongest response isn't defense or attack, it's calm stillness. That silence carries a weight no words can match. It forces the other person to face their own emptiness. People insult to provoke movement. They throw verbal stones expecting a reaction. But when nothing moves, they start to question themselves. Did it not land? Why isn't he reacting? That confusion turns into discomfort, and discomfort turns into respect. Because people naturally respect what they can't read. The loud are predictable. The silent are mysterious. Machiavelli once said, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves." One must be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. Silence is both the fox and the lion. It hides your mind while radiating quiet power. When you say nothing, people imagine everything: fear, doubt, admiration, all created by their own thoughts. That is the brilliance of silent authority. It allows others to reveal themselves while you stay unreadable. In business, politics, or relationships, the one who speaks less always holds the higher ground. Every unnecessary word gives away clues about your inner world. Silence denies those clues. It keeps others guessing, and in that guessing, they lose power. True power doesn't always need to be expressed. Often it's implied. Stillness shows confidence. When you don't respond, you're silently saying, "You're not worth my energy." And that message cuts deeper than any comeback. People fear being ignored more than being attacked. Ignoring someone removes their sense of importance. It shows that their attempt to shake you has failed. That's why silence feels like dominance. It forces others to face their own noise. In your calm, they meet themselves. And most can't handle that. They mistake your peace for superiority, and in that perception, you rise. The wise don't compete for attention. They create presence through restraint. Silence isn't passivity, it's emotional control turned into visible power. The moment you learn to stay still under verbal fire, you stop being a participant. You become a force. You don't chase influence, your silence becomes influence. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My silence commands respect. Self-awareness creates immunity. Every insult that hurts reveals an unhealed part of you. Words only sting when they touch a hidden insecurity. True strength begins when you see this clearly. The world cannot insult what you've already accepted. When you know yourself deeply, no one's opinion can touch your peace. Machiavelli believed that real power comes from understanding human nature, especially your own. When someone attacks your weakness, they expect you to react, to defend or deny. That reaction shows vulnerability, but self-awareness changes everything. It turns insults into information. Instead of asking, "Why did they say that?" ask, "Why did it affect me?" That single question turns pain into power. You stop being controlled by emotion and start mastering perception. Once you accept your flaws, no one can use them against you. Imagine someone calls you arrogant. If you understand that confidence is often mistaken for arrogance, their words lose power. You see through understanding, not ego. Every insult becomes a mirror, showing you where you still depend on others for validation. When you confront that need, it disappears. Machiavelli said, "It is not titles that honor men, but men who honor titles." Meaning, your value comes from within, not from what others say. When you define your worth internally, no insult can lower it. The one who insults you only exposes their own weakness. Self-awareness becomes armor. You begin to observe your emotions instead of being ruled by them. You feel anger rise, but choose calm. You sense disrespect, but stay centered. You no longer need to prove anything, and that calm terrifies people who live off emotional chaos. They expect you to break. Instead, you reflect. Your silence shows control, not fear. The truth is simple. You can't be hurt by what you've already accepted. When you make peace with your imperfections, criticism becomes background noise. The words that once hurt now sound empty. You no longer hear them through insecurity, you hear them through awareness. You become unshakable. Not by hiding flaws, but by embracing them so fully that no one can use them against you. That's when your presence changes. People sense it. They realize their words no longer reach you. You've evolved beyond reaction into mastery. Learn from insults. The power of observation. You've learned that power doesn't come from proving others wrong. It comes from knowing you were never defined by them. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I am untouchable. Learn from what they reveal. Every insult you receive is a hidden confession. The words people use to hurt you often reveal their own struggles, not your flaws. A man full of envy will call others arrogant. Someone drowning in insecurity will call others fake or overconfident. People project what they can't face within themselves. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. He saw that weak people often disguise jealousy as morality and resentment as concern. So when someone insults you, it's rarely about you. It's about their discomfort in your presence. Their reaction exposes what they lack. Instead of being offended, become an observer. Listen like a strategist gathering intelligence. Insults are information. They show you how people see you, what threatens them, and where their own ego is fragile. Each insult is a clue, psychological data that helps you understand others better. That's why emotionally intelligent people don't waste time fighting back. They extract meaning. Machiavelli once said, "The first method for judging a ruler's intelligence is to look at the men around him." In the same way, you can judge a person's state of mind by how they speak about others. When someone throws verbal poison, it shows they're fighting a war inside themselves. Their hostility isn't power, it's pain. Seeing this clearly gives you freedom. You stop reacting emotionally and start analyzing with awareness. You notice their tone, their expression, their persistence, all clues to their insecurity. The more they try to provoke you, the more transparent they become. What started as their attempt to expose you ends with them exposing themselves. When you treat insults as lessons instead of attacks, you gain something rare: perspective. You begin to see how human ego behaves under pressure. You recognize patterns. Who insults out of envy? Who mocks out of fear? Who belittles to hide shame? That understanding becomes power, because it helps you deal with people strategically, not emotionally. The greatest warriors never hate their enemies. They study them. They know that awareness is stronger than anger. Once you reach that level of clarity, insults lose their poison. You see the truth. The world is a mirror. What people say to you is what they struggle to accept in themselves. So, when someone tries to humiliate you, remember, they're not showing your weakness. They're confessing their own. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I learn from every insult. The art of subtle replies. There will be moments when silence isn't enough, when a calm, clever reply can reclaim control. The key is subtlety. Machiavelli mastered this art, using words that disarm without confrontation. The sharpest blades are hidden behind calm tones. Most insults lose power when met with composure, but a well-placed, emotion-free reply can quietly turn the attack back on the other person. When someone says, "You've changed," the insecure rush to explain. The powerful simply say, "That's what growth looks like." It's not defensive, it's final. It says your evolution doesn't need their approval. When someone sneers, "You think you're better?" Your calm reply, "I think differently." Simple, controlled, unshakable. The purpose of a subtle reply isn't to win the argument, it's to end it with dignity. Your tone steady, your words few, your presence strong. People who insult expect chaos, not composure. When your reply is calm and measured, it throws them off balance. Their attack turns inward, and they begin to question themselves. Machiavelli once said, "Nothing great is achieved without danger." And yes, speaking calmly in the face of disrespect is dangerous, because it reveals how much power you truly have. Every word you say with control becomes a weapon of precision, not reaction. The less emotion you show, the more authority your words carry. Remember, the art of subtle replies isn't about sarcasm or clever comebacks. It's about mastering emotional control so completely that your calmness becomes dominance. It's about creating psychological silence after you speak, a pause that lasts longer than their insult. That silence becomes your ally. It shows that their words had no effect. You win not by reacting, but by letting the moment hang heavy. People watching can feel it. They see who stayed calm and who lost control. When your reply is short, calm, and confident, it changes the whole atmosphere. This isn't about humiliating anyone. It's about keeping control and appearing untouchable. Subtle replies require discipline. You must master tone and timing. Too soft makes you look weak. Too harsh makes you look defensive. The secret is emotional neutrality. Speak like it doesn't matter, because it doesn't. No insult can hurt a calm mind. Your real power is not in the words, but in the energy behind them. Calm, steady, final. When you practice this often, people learn that provoking you is useless. Your calmness becomes your shield. You're not fighting, you're showing mastery. The world will always test you, but your control over tone is what separates the powerful from the reactive. Precision in speech reflects precision in mind. So speak rarely, and when you do, make every word sharp and deliberate. Affirmation: my calmness ends conflicts. The long game of composure. Machiavelli knew true dominance isn't about speed, it's about endurance. Winners aren't the ones who react first, they're the ones who stay calm the longest. Composure means holding your balance no matter how many times you're tested. The world tempts you to trade long-term peace for short-term satisfaction. Most people fall for that. They want to be right, respected, or avenged now. But emotional speed destroys power. Every time you react too quickly, you lose control. When you stay calm over time, time itself fights for you. Dramatic people burn out. Their chaos exposes them. Meanwhile, your patience builds quiet authority. The longer you stay grounded, the stronger your presence becomes. Truth always reveals itself with time. Those who shout fade. Those who stay calm rise. That's why patience is the real power. You no longer fight small emotional battles, you play the long game. Every insult becomes data. Every reaction you control builds reputation. Each time you stay calm, people begin to associate your silence with strength. Composure becomes your identity. Leaders aren't made by loud victories, but by invisible discipline. Soon, even your critics start imitating your calm. Because they realize control is rarer than anger. Composure attracts respect. It shows mastery, and self-mastery is the root of all power. Remember this: storms pass, the mountain remains. If you stay centered long enough, time exposes everyone who couldn't. Affirmation: my calm outlasts chaos. The final power shift. When you master your emotions completely, insults no longer touch you. They pass through you like wind through air. And then, everything changes. The same people who once tried to provoke you now hesitate. They feel your calmness and don't know how to handle it. You become unreadable. And in a world addicted to reactions, that's terrifying. Machiavelli understood that mystery is power. People fear what they can't predict and respect what they can't understand. When your emotions are sealed, your mind becomes an enigma. No one can measure your limits. That uncertainty becomes your influence. People treat you with quiet respect, not because you demanded it, but because your presence reminds them of their own instability. That's the power of true composure. You don't need to prove control. You are control. The power has shifted, and you didn't have to say a word. You no longer need to show authority. Your calm presence already does it. The one who can't be emotionally shaken becomes the one who moves others. This isn't dominance, it's control. You don't need revenge. You don't need validation. You don't even need to prove your calmness. It shows naturally. That's where real confidence begins: quiet, grounded, and unshakable. The person who stays peaceful while others lose control becomes magnetic. People are drawn to that stability because it makes them feel safe, but they also fear it because your peace exposes their chaos. You become a mirror, and not everyone is ready to face their reflection. Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." He wasn't talking about aggression, he meant presence. People fear what they can't move and respect what they can't control. When you can't be emotionally swayed, you start commanding without effort. Notice what happens. People lower their tone around you. They choose their words carefully. They adjust their behavior, not because you demand it, but because your calmness demands respect. You become the center of gravity in every room. That's real transformation, from the one who reacts to the one who defines reactions. Power no longer needs to be shown. It's felt. You've become the still point in a chaotic world. Others orbit around your call. Affirmation: I am my own power. Here's the truth most people never face. Real strength doesn't shout. It doesn't beg for attention or demand respect. It simply doesn't flinch. Every insult, every attempt to provoke you is a test. Next time someone tries, pause. Let silence respond for you. Let calmness fill the air. Watch what happens. You'll see their own chaos reflected back at them. Their words only have power if you let them. Machiavelli taught that perception is stronger than reality, and emotion is the easiest way to control perception. So when you master yourself, when you stop reacting, you rewrite the invisible rules of every encounter. You become untouchable. Those who once thought they could control you will lose balance. Their anger looks awkward. Their insults sound empty. Their attempts at control fall flat. That's when power quietly shifts toward you. You don't need to shout, fight, or humiliate. Your silence speaks louder than anything they say. True power is subtle, but undeniable. Master yourself, and you master every situation. The world will keep testing you. That's normal. But victory is not about stopping attacks, it's about not reacting to them. Be the still point in the storm. Let your calmness unsettle others. Let your composure attract respect. Move with purpose while the world shakes itself apart. Every insult, every challenge, use it to refine your control. Let them reveal their weakness, and let your silence reveal your strength. This path is simple, but rare. Few people have the patience to follow it. Those who do become unshakable, they gain the quiet dominance of a mind fully in control. If you practice this daily, you will become untouchable. Final affirmation: I do not flinch. Because true strength isn't about showing it to the world, it's about never needing to.